Hello, everybody. Saludos, buenas tardes, buenos días. It depends when you're hearing or listening to this interview, but we are so excited today because we have with us the incredible Thalia Rojas from Baecay. Hi,
Hi,
Thalia.
hi guys, and hi Rocio. Thank you so much for having me. Look, we're starting off. I need some water now for my voice. Hold on. And I drank water before, so really happy to be here, guys. Really happy to be here with Rocio, and I'm excited to chat a little bit for the next few minutes or the next hour.
Yes, and thank you, Thalia, for being on this platform with us. As folks know that have maybe listened to other interviews, we really want to use this time to get kind of the story of the business owner, right? We don't focus as much on the business. We want to focus on the individual because we want to humanize that experience. And we know that being an entrepreneur, there's just so many layers to that, right? And so we try to uncover that and provide some inspiration. And Dalia's here to share her story. And so we want to thank you for your time and just being here with us in the space.
Perfect.
So let's just dig right in. And the first thing we just want you to do is just tell us a little bit about you. Like, tell us a little bit about Thalia. Tell us a little bit about your business, Baecay.
Yes, so my name is Thalia Rojas. I live in the city of Commerce, which is part of LA County, and I am a small business owner. A lot of you might know me from Baecay Beauty, which was my former business, and it focused on women's clothing, and it's all around travel. And when a woman goes on vacay, on vacation, they like to be feel sexy, look cute, etc. So that's where I got the idea from. I said, after we book everything, the flights and the trip and just everything, we always look for outfits. So I said, I'm going to start Baky Beauty and I'm going to focus on women's clothing. But now that I feel like I've built this community, this travel community, I've now moved from selling tangible items,
Mhm.
which is the women's clothing, to offering a free service. So now the business of my name is Baecay. Again, I'm still in the whole travel section. I'm just moving from one thing to the next. So from Baecay Beauty to Baecay. So that's me. That is my business. I am from the state of Puebla. I was born in Mexico, but I grew up in South LA my entire life. And after South LA, I started coming to the East Side. So I went to school. I went to Garfield High School in East LA. And then I went to Cal State LA. I graduated with a bachelor's degree of in broadcast journalism. And when I'm not doing my small business, when I'm not focused on that, I am working. I work in my field, so I'm doing my full time, my 9 to 5, and sometimes I get some shifts at my other job, which is part time. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm focused on my business. So I do a lot of things. So I look like a hot mess, but like you said, let's humanize this. It is what it is. This is what you get, and that's what I do.
That is amazing. Well, you look fabulous. You're
Thank you.
looking great. So don't ever question that or second guess that. And I
Of
didn't
course.
realize you had two other jobs aside from your business, but I appreciate you sharing that because I think a lot of women and men that are listening to this interview can relate to that.
Mhm.
We have a lot of women that we support in our network or that we know of that do their business full time, but there's a lot that do it part time and that have a job or two that they have in terms of like a 9 to 5. And so I think that that's a beautiful thing and it looks different for everybody, right? It's
Mhm.
what you're doing works for you, right? And I think that that's important to acknowledge that there's no like cookie cutter way to run your business. It depends, right? On what the need is, what your like desire is, what your vision is. So thank you for being just like openly about that and sharing that. And so you talked a little bit about like, where you were, like where you lived and kind of you had gone to high school and to college, but let's like take that back a little bit and take a step into like knowing who Thalia was as a niña, right?
Yeah.
Thalia, the little girl growing up in South LA, it sounds like. How, like, tell us a little bit about like how were you? Like, were you really outgoing? Were you a shy kid? Like, where do you think this entrepreneurial spirit came from?
Well, to start off, I grew up with my both my mom and dad and my brother in South LA, and we always had what we needed, but I always felt like there was more out there, you know, and I always wanted more. So I have that very I'm a Capricorn, so a lot of Capricorns are gonna say we're very determined, goal driven, and I'm very like that. I am very hardworking. I guess I get that from my parents, you know. I saw them growing up how hard they would work. Um and I just found that I was born on the year of the dragon. Now it's Chinese Lunar Year, so I was like, oh, I knew it. I had to be a dragon. So with all that combined, a goat, I really feel like I am very, like I said, goal oriented, hardworking, very responsible. And I've always been like that since I was a little girl. I was shy at school. I wasn't like those girls that would pick up my raise my hand and say, "Oh, teacher, pick me. I know it." You know, I was never like that. So I was a little shy, but I've always been very people friendly.
Mhm.
I can carry a conversation just fine and it just flows. I feel like my energy is I have really good energy. So people come to me, they talk to me, and we can relate. So that's always been me. And I always had this little itch about being a small business owner, right? But I never wanted to take that leap of faith because of money, because of whatever, you know, distraction in my early 20s, you know, you just want to party or have fun. You don't want responsibilities really, even though I've always been very responsible. So it was more of I don't know, it's not the right time. It was never the right time, right?
Yeah.
But then when COVID hit, I said, you know what? Well, I'm just here. I mean, I'm working, but I have all this time. Let me try it. Let me do it. Let me take that leap of faith. So that's when I started my business. But going back to being a young girl, I feel like just always having that in mind that I wanted more and that
Mm.
I always wanted to own a small business or start a small business led me to where we are today. And then COVID hit, and that was just like the I guess the pivot point. Like, okay, you gotta do something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's been me, and I feel like that's still me. And I am glad I started I started a business, and now we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. And so who like inspired you or who influenced that decision, right? Because it's one thing to have an idea and to say, I want to be a business owner or this is my idea. And it's quite another thing to like operationalize that or like actualize it, right? Like to take that step to say, I'm going to do it and to do it, right? Whatever
Yeah.
that step may be. So like who influenced you or what inspired you to kind of come up with the specific concept and actually like start to see it like come to life.
I think a lot of it has to do from my mom's side of the family. My mom's side in Mexico, a lot of my uncles are business owners out there.
Mm,
So I think I already have that in my DNA. So I think I get that from them, right? So seeing them, how they work their businesses, etc. Kind of since I was a younger girl, I saw that and I was like, oh, okay, maybe that could be for me. But on another thing is now that I'm older, is wanting to just retire my parents, wanting
mm,
to just have that stability and knowing that I can work for myself and I can provide
mm,
something for them, you know, it's just kind of my goal now, like
mm,
wanting to do that. So I think that's my biggest inspiration, wanting to retire them and
mm,
also live a more chill life. Even though being a business owner, oh my God, you wear so many hats and it
yeah.
is stressful and you have to go through a lot of stuff, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's either you stress for your own business or you stress for someone else's.
Mhm.
In this case, I don't mind stressing for mine.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think there's pluses and not negatives, but just like pluses and deltas, I guess is the words I would use. Like, right, but at the end of the day, like you're in control of that.
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
You're steering that, or you're driving that car, or whatever the analogy
During
is.
the ship.
Yes, you're in that control seat, right? And I think that's
Yeah.
the beauty of entrepreneurship is that you can also do something that brings you joy
Mhm.
while you're making money, right? And while you're building your business. It doesn't mean it makes it any less stressful and it doesn't mean that it's easy. It just means that I feel like that motivation, it's hard to like burn that light out when it comes from a sense of like passion and purpose, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I know it's exhausting and I'm sure you get tired, especially with the other two jobs that you have and trying to manage it. But you know it's yours, right?
Mm.
You know, like, and you can change it. Like you just described earlier, like it was like this, and then I decided that it was better for me to do this. And it's like, no one's gonna tell you, no, Thalia, you can't do that, right?
Yeah,
Like you're gonna
exactly.
decide that. So I
Mhm.
feel like that's such a beautiful, just like opportunity that you have and that other entrepreneurs have to be able to do that. But um so that's really amazing. I love to hear how, you know, you're very influenced by family, it sounds like. You're very influenced with kind of like your future goals and what you want to do. But what would you say is like your business purpose, like your mission of your business. So, what are you trying to do with the business? So, we know you love it. We know it's a great concept. And we know that, you know, like you said, it's working towards your goals
Mhm.
financially. On the other end, like, what do you want your clients and customers to feel or to know? Or like, what is that purpose that drives you in this specific business that you created?
So, the specific, I guess you can say, the mission or what I want people to know is that I'm building a travel community where it's not showing off, it's learning.
Mm,
So I take you on these experiences and I show them to you, but I give you all this knowledge, all this information so you can take it, essentially may help you plan your Baecays, as the name of the business is Baecay. Um, so that's what I want from the travel community to grow, to learn, and to just make it easier for you to travel to yeah for you to travel and to plan your next vacation, because sometimes it is very overwhelming. Just you get joy out of traveling, but it can be overwhelming to book this, book that, do this, do that. Sometimes you don't even know what you're going to do out there. That's where I come in. That's where I show you. That's where I let you know about reservations, let you know about prices, let you know if it's kid friendly, if it's just a couple's trip, let you know all this information that's going to help you decide whether you want to go or not go. So, as I'm building this travel community, it's also helping my business because it's creating revenue through ads, it's creating revenue through partnerships, through UGC content, which is creating content for brands that, I can pitch to my travel community, and it also works for the brand. We make a connection there. Their audience and mine grow, and we all learn about each other. So it's bringing revenue about that. And the reason why I started pivoting is because I was already doing this. I was already vlogging my vacations. I was already informing the public about um where I was going, what I was doing. And again, it wasn't to show off. It was to, because I always do my videos with the intention of giving you some knowledge, providing you something, showing you a new place, showing you a new, learning something new. So that
mm,
was the end point. So I was already doing that, and I started noticing that a lot more people were interested in knowledge than buying a tangible item.
mm,
So that was the harsh reality for me, because I really wanted to hold on to this and sell it, but people were like, no, 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 no. It's
yeah.
over here where you have it. So that's when I started growing. I said, okay, it's still within the same area, which is travel. And so maybe let me focus more on this side, providing a free service, right? No
Mhm,
charge to you, but giving you knowledge. And people started responding to that. So I said, okay, I think God is telling me at some pop-ups, sometimes I wouldn't even sell anything.
mm,
And I said, maybe God's just saying, you know what? Like, I'm showing you that it's time to move on. And there's nothing wrong with pivoting. So I said, let me do what I was already doing. Let me give all my energy and my focus to this and see where it takes me. And so far, it's been growing, it's been going. So I'm excited. It's something that I love doing. And I'm always after my 9 to 5 during my lunch break, I'm editing my TikToks and my reels, always making it happen. When my husband's at work during the week, that's when I'm editing my YouTube videos because when he's here, I try to give him time and attention. And so I try to divide my time with my parents as well, with my dogs. So it's hard. Like you said at the beginning, it's hard because we wear a lot of hats and we have to do a lot of things. But I try to divide my time, but also give myself time to edit all my videos and upload. And of course, it feels wonderful when people comment and thank you for showing me this place and I must try and you're one of them. You interact with my posts and on YouTube people saying like, oh, I didn't know about these places, thank you so much, now I'm excited to try them next time I visit, you know. So it's little things like that that make me happy and keep me going. So every time someone subscribes to my channel, every time someone follows me, comments, or even likes, I get very excited. It's like making a sale. When I started and I would make a sale, I was like, "Oh my God, I made a sale," you know? This time we're not making sales, but we're generating money another way and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what I love about what you're sharing, well, a lot of things I love about what you're sharing, but I think one of the things that sticks out to me is just how you've evolved, how your business has evolved. And you seem very at peace with that, right? I
Yes.
think that that you see that as a good thing, as a plus, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes I know that there's women who, and maybe this happened to you too, where you shared a little bit of it, right? Like there's a little bit of an internal struggle because you want to hold on to a certain model of your business or you want to hold on, but what you did was that you took the data you were receiving
Mhm.
from your community and you made the changes to improve it and to make it better while still fulfilling you and your purpose of your business and your mission and your joy, right? And so I think that that's like a really important lesson to the word I think of is grace, like give yourself grace, right? To make changes when needed or like to evolve like with your business, right? And so I think that, it's a really beautiful lesson that you could share with folks. But
And
yeah,
before we move on, right
yeah,
now that you said grace, I was at your previous event. I think it was back in November, if I'm
yeah, the power within. Mhm,
yes, and we did a workshop where we had to close our eyes, and the
mhm.
first word that came to mind or to that you saw,
Yeah.
and my word was grace. I don't know
Oh,
why. So I wrote it on my little stone.
yeah.
Right now that you said it, I think that was a sign, you know, because in my gut, I was already feeling like, okay, this business needs to move on, needs to move from one thing to the other. And
Mhm.
it was kind of like those little signs that I was picking up, like, okay, it's time. And grace was my word. So I just wanted to share that now that you said it. So they're all signs, you know, the signs are there. You just have to, you have to go with your gut and just do it sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's beautiful. I think it's sitting with your own internal reflections, and this is why we also advocate for that a lot, is like sometimes just your intuition is going to serve you, right? Your gut is telling you something for a reason, and what we always encourage women to do is to sit with that for a little bit. Like it's okay to kind of pause and reflect and kind of sit with that thought and that feeling.
Mhm.
And it's not something that is always easy for folks to do. And it's not always something that we think about when we're running a business. Because to your earlier point, you're running around wearing multiple hats, trying to balance all the responsibilities you have.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, now I have to sit down and kind of just like be okay with being still and silent for a little bit. I don't have time for that. I got stuff to
Yeah.
do and
Yeah,
people to
let's
see.
go.
So thank you for sharing that. And I think just normalizing that is
Yeah,
important,
it
right?
is.
For
Mhm.
those that are listening right now, wherever whatever stage you are in your business is just Thalia's story of sharing that like she's evolved, she's sat with
Mhm.
it, she's thought about it, she's maybe fought it a little, right? And then at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you realize this is what's good for me and my business and my family, right? So
Mhm.
that's so beautiful. I think the
Yes,
for sharing that. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Um, so that is is very beautiful and sounds very beautiful, but we also know that there are the struggles and that there
Yeah.
are the hardships and the barriers, right, that you face, not just in your business, but I think because you have a business, like
Mm,
just maybe in your own personal life, right? And
yeah.
you're not alone because, all folks experience that. But what struggles have you faced in your business that you feel comfortable sharing with us in terms of
Mhm.
like, lessons learned, or how did you overcome whatever those challenges were?
I think for maybe every small business, the biggest struggle is capital, it's
Mm,
money. And again, going back to 2020, I said to myself, you know what, let me take a leap of faith. So I took the leap of faith. And I always say, don't take a leap of faith with your eyes closed. Like, don't be blind. But I took it because we were, it was 2020.
yeah.
We just weren't that focused and we had all this time. And I said, let me do it. I was always scared, like, oh, what about taxes? What about this? How am I going to deal with that, etc. Right. So I said, let me take a leap of faith. I started my business, applied for what I had to apply it all on my own. I Googled everything, but I wasn't ready with money, to be honest with you. So
Mhm,
what I did was apply for a loan. And there's
mhm,
nothing wrong with loans, but now looking back, I was like, geez, I should have just saved my money and
mm,
then maybe applied for grants. But business owners need to understand, if you're just starting, you need to understand that when you don't know anything and owning a business is so new to you, sometimes you don't even know where to start. I didn't
mhm,
even know about Baecay. I
mhm,
I never came I why I would never search up Baecay, Rocio. So it's hard to learn, and yeah, they tell you like the city, the county, they have grants, stuff like that, but I was just very naive, I guess you can say. I didn't search, so I applied for the grant, and they said as long as they give me money, I'm fine. So I started using my money, but what happens a couple years after, business starts slowing down, rates start going up. Sorry, we're getting an Amber Alert. So my business is going off. Um, what was it? Interest rates start going up, so it just becomes really hard for me to start paying off this loan because I have
mm,
to pay for pop-ups, for merchandise, etc. So business owners need to understand that money is a struggle and it's okay to ask for help.
mhm,
And you don't have to do it all on your own, because at some point I was like, no, I can do it on my own. I don't need anyone's help. And then I'm like, yes, I need help. Then I
mhm,
started finding all these resources, etc. I applied for a grant. My business was given a grant. So I was able to pay off the debt. And guess what? That money that I had left over, now I'm able to do other stuff with this new business, which is now providing a free service, focusing on just being on social media and providing that knowledge to you guys. So that's one of those, and that's how I overcame. I got more involved in groups like yours. I learned about grants. I got tutoring, or what was it, not tutoring, but it was like a one-on-one with Chase. I had a mentor who we would just write down realistic goals and we would meet them, and one of them was paying off the business debt. I did. That's gone, and they were great. So it's a that's how I overcame this struggle of money. I was able to apply for a grant, and now I'm still applying for grants, and I'm still doing what I have to do. And also, I don't think you asked me this, but just really quick for business owners, never be scared to pivot. Never be scared to pivot.
mhm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I think again, you're definitely not alone with the capital piece. That's always not just a question, but a fear for
mhm,
a lot of people, right? Is not understanding, or not, to your point, not knowing where to go. Who do I trust? How do I go
mhm,
about this? And I think one of the best ways is to put yourself out there and sign up for programs where you can learn about the different resources. You can learn about how to do things differently. And there's so many programs out there that can teach you so much and really never stop learning. But
mhm,
the capital piece is, and what I tell folks is always is there's a time and a place for loans, there's a time and a place for grants, there's a time and a place for using your own money as a
mhm,
starting point, right? And I think that part of the struggle sometimes is discerning that, right? Like I know you feel fully responsible for your business because you're like, this is my business and I want to see it grow, but it's also from a place of like passion and purpose, right?
Yeah.
So it's scary to feel like, oh my gosh, this is all on me. Like if I make the wrong choice, I make the wrong decision, like what can happen, right? And I think the way you're describing it about, starting to ask the question and sometimes learning from what experiences that weren't maybe what we don't think were the greatest experiences.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is how we learn, right? Is like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead next time or that kind of thing. So, but the capital piece is one we do hear quite a bit about is the funding. And so starting kind of how you did, I know they were probably like, I'll call them growing pains.
Yeah.
We won't call them like struggles. We're going to call them growing, learning.
Yeah. Let's call it that. Yeah.
Yeah. But the beautiful thing is you can look back at that, right? And that helps you make more informed decisions as you continue to evolve and grow,
Yes,
right?
for
And
sure.
you can serve as a resource to women and other business owners now too, and they can lean on you for that wisdom
Yes.
and that knowledge. So that's just a really beautiful gift I think that you can outside of the business, just a part of who you are and your experience that you can share with folks. And I know you do. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that you're involved and you're always willing to share and you're so open. And so folks that meet you, I know will really appreciate that about you because I appreciate that about you.
Yeah. Thank you. Full transparency, I try to give my uh honest review, honest information that I can give, especially small business owners, because sometimes we feel like we can do it all. And
Yeah.
behind the camera, behind the scenes, it might look like, oh, yeah, everything's going smooth, but not really. So, someone who's listening and says, wait a minute, I'm going through the same thing. I'm glad I'm not the only one, or
Mhm.
that's how I started. Sheesh, I'm glad I'm not the only one because sometimes you feel a little dumb, like, oh my God, how did I not think of that? How did I not ask for help? Or something else, but people can listen and be like, "Okay, I see where she's coming from. That was me too, and it's okay."
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so what are you most proud of in terms of like what you've accomplished or what you've been through?
With the business, right?
Mhm, mhm,
Just starting, honestly, because starting has taken me and it will take me to where I need to get.
mhm,
If I wouldn't have started, this is something that I've always, since I was little, I guess going back, that I've dealt with. I'm always like, I'm really scared of the what if.
mm,
I've never wanted to say, "What if I wouldn't have joined drill team?" Because I was in the drill team when I was in high school. What if I wouldn't have studied broadcast journalism? Right now I would have been like, "Oh, I wish I worked on TV." Not that I work in front of the camera, but I
mhm,
work at TV stations. What if that's always been my something very scary for me, the what if. Like what if I wouldn't have done it? So because of that, I don't want to get older and be like, "Oh, I should have done this, I should have done that." It's like I want to get old and say, "I did this, I did that," and look at where I'm at today.
mm.
So with that being said, I think I went off.
No, 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 there's no such thing as going off. You're tracking exactly what's coming to you. So, yeah, I was
So
asking about what you're most proud of, and it can be personal too. So let me like, track that. Personal and professional. So business related and just personal related.
personal. So
What
yeah,
is
I think it's never giving up and just starting my business in life. I've never given up on anything. Maybe sometimes just working out. I should work out more, but but don't we all? Uh, but other than that, it's just like I am, when they say like walk the what is it? Walk the talk or
walk the walk, talk the talk or
walk the
something? Yeah. I don't remember.
that I'm really that type of person that I just do the thing. I just do the damn thing, I go for it. Sometimes I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I say I'm gonna figure it out. And that's a good way to see life, especially if you're starting a business, because if you think you're gonna know it all when you start, no, you're not. You're gonna learn as you grow and as you go. So
Mm.
so just starting has gotten me to where I'm at right now, even if I only have 400 subscribers on YouTube, I am so proud of that.
Huh.
And I
Yeah.
see it growing, even if it's 3,000 on TikTok. I'm so proud of that because
Yes.
in a year, that might multiply times two, times three in 5 years, in 10 years. I don't want to look back and say, I should have started a YouTube channel. I should have started the business that led me to start the YouTube channel. I should have. I don't want to be that. Um, so I am glad of what I'm doing. I am glad of where I am. And I am proud. At the beginning, I feel like I would be embarrassed, like, oh, I only have 2 subscribers. But you know what? I started and I had those 2 subscribers and I don't care. Now I'm growing.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm very proud of what I've done and where I'm going.
Yeah, just your growth is
Yeah.
really exciting to see and to witness. And so, what would you say is your superpower?
Oh man.
I know I added this question.
Oh, yeah, my superpower would be I guess a hard worker. That's my superpower. I'm very hardworking and I can never stay still. I always have to be doing something and I know sometimes that's very can be very overwhelming, but I need to learn how to relax and just enjoy a Saturday at home.
Mm,
They put because I am a hard worker, I always want to be working. That's
mm,
my normal to me. Like I always need to be doing something all the time. Which is a good thing. And it can be a bad thing because you need to learn how to relax. But I'm a very hard worker, and anybody that knows me, that's known me for a very, very long time will know that. And I'm just very a humble person, very optimistic all the time. I never see the downside on of things. It's always everything positive, everything positive. Like for real quick an example, I was in Italy last year for my wedding anniversary and it was pouring. It was pouring. Someone else could have said, oh, it's raining, what an ugly day, gloomy, I hate it, it was ruined. I was just like, this rain are just, it's blessings, all these blessings coming down. I love it. I romanticized it with my husband and it was beautiful. So I always see the good things in everything
yeah.
and in everyone. So I think I mentioned more than one superpower.
Oh, that's okay. And you have a lot of them, and I think everybody has more than one. So that was a good response.
Yeah.
So, what what is your like, and I know you talked a little bit about in the beginning, but if you can elaborate just on like what's your vision for your business? So like where do you see your business? Ideally, where would you like to see your business in like 5, 10 years?
I would like to see my business. Okay, I know I said I come from selling tangible items to now a free service. That doesn't mean that in the future I'm not going to want to sell something that you can take home, because I think it comes with the territory.
Mhm,
You grow your audience, you introduce a product,
mhm,
they like your product, they trust you, they buy it, and you get more revenue. So that
mhm,
doesn't mean, but in 5, 10 years, I really hope to grow my social media platforms. And by social media, I mean YouTube. Make that revenue from that so I can sustain my business and introduce what I've been wanting to do since the beginning because I didn't know anyone, I didn't know much, all that stuff I couldn't. I really want to have a travel line, travel accessories
mm,
line with the Mexican twist, with the Mexican art in them. I know sometimes we see bags and tote bags, but this time I want to bring it to carry-ons, to what is it? Carry-ons and then your big luggages, etc. So I want to bring that line to life. And my goals, I've always been just had these big dreams. I want to see my line at LAX at one of the stores. I want to see my line at stores where they sell travel stuff. That's my goal, and I'm putting it out there. I'm manifesting
yeah,
all this stuff.
yes,
So that's where I want to see my business go in 5 to 10 years. Of course, they'll do my YouTube because that's not going anywhere. We are, we've been in this internet era for the longest, and people will never get tired, I think, of social media. People will never get tired of learning something new, of discovering new places, and just have a stress-free environment, which I feel when you go on vacation, or even when you learn about a vacation place and you're watching a video, you get excited, you get happy. So people are never gonna get tired of being happy. So I think that's where I see myself going, and that's what I'm working towards as well.
That's so beautiful. Well, in 3, 5 years from now, you can revisit this interview that's recorded and be like,
Yes,
"Look
oh, I will
where I am."
for
It'll,
sure.
it'll be a good temperature check. Like, am I there? Wait, yes, I need to keep working towards that because manifestation, I think, is a real thing, and I think it's so
Yeah.
powerful. And so, you're going to attract what you manifest, right? So if
Mhm.
you're willing this into your life and into your business, it's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Mhm.
It's going to take work, but you're going to keep working towards it and it's going to happen, or some iteration of it, right?
Mhm.
Because we just talked about how it evolves, right? So
Yes.
5 years, that vision may evolve a little bit, but some iteration of that is going to happen. It's going to take place. So
Yeah, for sure.
all that good energy.
Get all in. All that pixie dust.
Yeah.
Good energy, for sure.
So it's been really great, like kind of learning your background, your story, your journey, and how it's evolved. And how do you feel your identity and
Mhm.
your culture and your background like shape you as a business owner?
How it shaped me. Well, we all know it. Our community is very hardworking. Um, so I think going back to the same thing, just seeing how hard, where I grew up in South LA, we did have a lot of franchise fast food restaurants, but we also had a lot of mom and pop shops. And
Hmm.
you would see that all around, liquor stores or little bakeries, coffee shops, etc. So I feel like growing up, seeing how hard my people were working, um, was also influence. I was influenced by, okay, I already have it within me that I'm a very hard worker, and I see them, it's kind of like, all right, we're in this together. um I want to be like them, I am like them, I see myself in them. So I think that's something that influenced
Hmm.
me becoming a small business owner. I hope I answer that question correct.
Yeah, no, no, no. Whatever it calls to you, right?
Okay.
Like however you want to respond to that is
Yeah.
the answer.
Okay, good. Because I know I feel like I have answers for all the other questions, but this one I was like, wait a minute, huh?
Es que I added it. I added it. That's why. I'm like, as you're talking, it's making me think of other questions, right? That's
Oh,
why.
okay.
You did that so gracefully and beautifully. So that's really
Perfect. Okay.
well. As we kind of wind down our time together, I'm just gonna kind of ask one last question around what like advice you would give to aspiring Latina entrepreneurs, or maybe not aspiring, just women that are starting their business or maybe in the middle of their business and they're hitting some road bumps. What advice would you give them, or what words of wisdom would you want to leave folks with?
Okay. So if you're just starting, your business, if you're thinking of starting a business, just do it. You're gonna learn along the way. And if you're just starting, and if you were like me, you didn't have any savings and you're like, let me take a leap of faith, let me just do it. Maybe stop, because I already went through it. Think about it a little bit more, and maybe go the social media way. Because social media, you don't need to start with any money. You
Mhm,
can grow and then bring in revenue. Do it
mhm,
backwards. I started with a loan and getting tangible items, selling them, and then I'm moving on to, a free service on social media. Maybe start here, get your money, make money, and then you can start introducing products. That's just the way I see it, because I went through it and I'm like, maybe I should have done it the other way. That's if you're just starting and you don't have a lot of money, right? Like I did
yeah.
back in the day. not that, oh my gosh, my business is blowing up, but it's gonna blow up in 3 to 5 years. When I watch this interview, I'm gonna have all this money because I'm manifesting it right now. But
Yes.
if you do have money, maybe you have savings and you've been saving all your life and you're willing to use that money up front, um, then just go for it. Do what you want to do. Of course, get involved with programs like Bella, learn, attend pop-ups, attend like Latina Fest is coming up. You get to network a lot. You get to talk to people. You get to know people. You're
Mhm.
introduced to these programs, and you get to learn. You find out what grants you can, what's available out there, what you can apply for, and then you might just get it. So I feel like whether you're starting or you're in the middle of it, just keep moving. Just do it if you're just starting, and if you're in the middle of it all, like I am, just keep moving, just keep going, take it one step at a time, because I promise you, when you look back, you're gonna see how far you've come and everything that you've done. And you're like, wow, really, I did that. Even though it might not seem like you're moving that fast,
Mhm.
in a year from now, you're like, wow, I've met all these people, I've networked with all these women, I've done all this, I've grown this much, and now I have whatever it is. I have this, a warehouse with all your stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, so just do it and keep grinding, and don't think that this is not for the weak. You have to be up for the challenge. But that doesn't mean that when you're feeling a little tired, give yourself some time time off. And I should learn from that, and I try now. um Even if it's just a couple hours on Saturday, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll watch a show, because honestly, I can't watch. If you ask me if I've seen a movie, I'll tell you 95% of the time, 95% of the movie inventory in the world, I haven't seen, because I'm always like, I don't have time for that. I can't stay still. So I don't have time for that. I'd rather be learning something, how to edit, how to do this, etc. So learn how to give yourself a timeout, and just do it honestly. That's the best advice I can give to
Yeah.
them.
I love it. I love it. What I'm hearing is invest in yourself, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, for sure.
take that risk to like to give that to yourself, right? To do it yourself. Like you owe it to yourself to try that. And
Uh,
how you go about that is going to be different depending on where you are and what your business is, maybe where you are with your business, but just giving yourself that opportunity, I think, is what I'm hearing you
yeah,
say.
for sure. Investing yourself, that's going to be the best thing you can do. And again, even if it's just if you need a little bit of time off on a weekday or weekend, whatever, just do it. You're still investing in yourself. So don't
Yes.
think that you're not moving forward. You need to be, with batteries charged, fully charged, in order to keep moving and grow your business.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Well, Thalia, thank you so, so much for all of this beautiful wisdom you've shared with us. Is there anything else that you want to just share with folks? You want to leave folks with before we close down our interview? Oh, and also letting them know how to stay connected with you would be good.
Yeah, for sure. I think I gave them the best advice I could give. Again, this is my personal advice, and it's what I've been through, and I hope someone, whoever listens, everyone that's going to listen to this podcast, this interview, learns something, and that they then if they're interested in just starting their business, just do it. But the way we can stay connected is by following me on YouTube. Again, it's free to subscribe, free, free, free. All this knowledge that I provide to you guys is free as well. And it'll help me a lot. So you can YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. So you guys can do at Baecay. And maybe we can add the links on the what is it, description below or on screen, whatever. But it's Baecay, Baecay. You'll be able to find me. I have the exact same logo all throughout my platforms, so you will know that that it's me, and that's how we can stay connected.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Thalia. This was delightful. I loved our time together. I loved learning more about you. And again, just thank you for being so open and warm and giving and just sharing your story. I really appreciate you. And I know folks that are listening really appreciate you too. Make sure you all check out Baecay. You support Thalia and her business. And
Yes,
with that, we will close our interview for today, but we will see you all next time. Thank you. Adios.
bye.